In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a non-branded search campaign. These are keywords that people are searching and search terms that people are searching that are not your brand or business name. Now, there are many ways to structure this type of campaign, but I'm going to show you the way that is currently working best for us. So first, we put a lot of work into our branded search campaign. The great thing is it has the perfect structure and beginning for us to start with. So we really can actually duplicate this branded search campaign and start from there. So we're just going to select the branded search campaign on the left, hit edit, copy, edit, paste. Now we are going to change the title to non-branded. And then we're going to click inside of it and then go to the settings. So the one main difference in the campaign settings is that we are going to deselect Google search partners for the non-branded search. Like I mentioned earlier, Google search partners is great when someone is searching specifically for your brand to get in front of them, but we typically find much lower quality clicks coming from those other sites than Google. So for non-branded search terms, people that are not searching for your business, we stay strictly on Google. Okay, so going back to the campaign, you'll see we have the same 3 ad groups and then the same ad within each of them. So we're going to start with this exact match right here. Actually, I'm going to show you a tool really quickly. So when it comes to researching which keywords to use for your service or for your specific business, you can start off just by using your best judgment on what you know people are searching for when they're searching for your service. But within a couple days of once you start spending on Google, it will give you access to a tool called Keyword Planner. And so you can use it at any point, but right now it won't give us real numbers. So if you select Tools and Settings, and then you go into the Keyword Planner tool. So discover new keywords. So if we start with, let's just say roofing, and I'm actually going to change this location. Let's just say it doesn't let you do a radius, but we can do Nashville and then Murfreesboro, those 2 main cities that we're targeting with our ads. And I'm going to get rid of the United States. So just these 2. Save. So if we're going to do roofing, roofer, roofers, roof repair, roof replacements, roofing company, roofing contractor. So let's just say get results. So these are the keywords that we started with. And then if we look down all these other keywords, there's 2,700 other keywords. So what you can do after a couple of days of advertising, when it gives you real numbers, when it doesn't just say 1,000 to 10,000 total searches, 100 to 1,000, these are not the real terms. It will say like 362 searches per month in this specific location that you provided, or it may be 1,627 total searches for roof repair. Whatever those numbers are, I like to organize by the average monthly searches. So I would click this little area and then it would bring all the highest search volume terms to the top. And typically I will take all of the terms that are relevant. And that may be 50 terms, that may be 1,000 terms depending on the brand. But that is a time consuming thing. Basically you would download these or you can copy and paste them and you would go through them and find the ones that are relevant to you. That is one approach and does work well. But since we don't have that data in this account yet because it is not currently spending, what we're going with are the search terms that we know people are searching for, being these 4 that we started with. And so I'm going to click back up here, just kind of copy these so we have these. So just Command C. But yeah, in the future, this will be a great way to research and find new keywords that you wouldn't have found without this. You will also start to see search terms populate as you start to spend money that will give you other ideas as well. So in short, you really could just use these starting keywords because as long as you are using broad match as one of your match types, because Google, as long as these words, one of these words are included in these search terms, you will actually be targeting all of these. But you have to make sure that you have a broad match version of your keywords to ensure that you are targeting the majority of these keywords. So, okay, so we are going back. So we're going to start with exact match. So right now it's My Roofing Connect. That is not the right keyword. So we're going to add these other keywords in, save. And then I'm going to update My Roofing Connect to roofing contractors. Or let's do roof damage. Roof damage, because that's especially roof damage, roof storm damage, maybe another one too. Roof storm damage, depending on the area that you live in. So this will give you other ideas here as well. So you can see roof repair near me. Let's see, roofing contractors near me. We don't do metal roofing. Best roofing company near me. Roof leak repair, and so on. So essentially you can go through these just like you would go through the keyword planner, and you can use Google's suggestions, but just make sure that you only select the keywords that are relevant to your service. So save. So let's say we went through those suggestions, and used our own knowledge as well of what we believe our customers are searching for. These are the best search terms that we were able to find. So there's 13 of them total. We're going to start off by making these exact. So hit edit, change match types, exact match, apply. And because we are going to also be searching, or because we are targeting by location, you really don't have to include like roofing company Nashville, because on your phrase match and on your broad match, it will already include that if the people are located in Nashville. So the only time that you would really need to include the actual city in these search terms is if you are targeting nationwide and want to target people that are in a different state than you're targeting, or a different city than you're targeting, and looking for roof repair, which I haven't seen work well. So it would essentially be somebody like you would target the entire country, and you would target terms like roof repair Nashville, but it would be somebody in Florida that happens to be searching those terms for maybe a home that they're buying, or a friend or a family member. Whenever I've seen people try that, it almost every time has lost money. I do not suggest doing that approach. I would only target on the campaign level the actual service area where your customers live. And that will allow you to be a little more broad with your keywords here. So it doesn't need to be city specific in these search terms. Now we're going to look at the ad. So with these ads, with the ads for non-branded search, you will, if you're familiar with Google Ads, a lot of agencies, a lot of brands will be very specific to where they will match one keyword, and then they will put that exact keyword as the first headline. This can work, but here's the caveat, is that there's hundreds of other companies out there doing that same exact thing. And so I don't see that working as effectively as it used to. And so we've shifted recently to where we're essentially, the brands that we're working with and the businesses we're working with, we're essentially doing more of an authoritative play of when people search for a roof repair in a specific city, we're still putting the brand name as the business name as the main first line, just to stand out. Because everyone else, if people are searching roof repair Nashville and then they see 20 ads that literally just say roof repair Nashville as the very first line, there's no possible way for them to differentiate between those ads. They all look identical. So we're essentially doing more of a power play of presenting like we're the number one company for this type of service. So we're still using an almost identical ad to our branded search campaign, but just making sure that our explanation in this usually on the second line, still ties together everything, the majority of those keywords. So if it's essentially roof repair and roof replacement are the majority of those keywords. Nashville's number one roofing company, that still covers. People can put two and two together. that roofing companies do roof repair and roofing companies do roof replacement. So if you wanted to change this, you could do, roof replacement and repair. But for this specific situation, I think having the city, and we'd run out of spaces if we said Nashville's, roof replacement and repair in Nashville, we'd probably run out of space. And so I still am impartial to what we already have. Nashville's number one roofing company. Because if someone's searching roof repair or roof replacement in Nashville, there's 20 other companies that literally just say roof repair or roof replacement. And then ours says Nashville's number one roofing company. There's just a different mentality when people click on that ad of you could even put how many reviews or trusted for how many years, anything along those lines. And we already tie in some of that down here. Roof replacement and repair, serving the greater Nashville area for 20 plus years. Schedule your free roof assessment with one of our roofing experts today. So you really can just leave this ad exactly as is. There's nothing that needs to change in this ad. I'm just going to hit cancel here. But yeah, nothing that needs to change in this ad. The only difference really are the keywords. So if we go back to the keywords, so remember these are all exact match. So I'm going to just copy these. And go copy. And then we're going to go into the phrase match, edit, paste. You technically could just duplicate the ad group that we already were working in, and then change out the keywords to phrase and then to broad. But you can also just do what I'm doing here and copy the keywords directly into the ad group. Remember, we would want to turn this one off, My Roofing Connect. We do not need that in this ad group. And this was phrase match. You can see up here. So we want to make sure that all these keywords are set to phrase match. So you want to edit, change match types, change all match types, phrase match. And then we're going to do the same thing, going into the broad ad group, select, edit, paste. Remember, we have to turn off the My Roofing Connect because this is not a branded, this is a non-branded. Select all the keywords, edit, change keywords to broad match. So now you see we have these same keywords set to broad match in this ad group. So if we go back, very similar structure. We essentially have all of our best keywords for our business set to exact match, phrase match, and broad match. Now, if you have a business to where one ad cannot cover the majority of those services, like if you did roofing and landscaping, or let's just say you're a construction company that happens to also do landscaping. I see that regularly. It would be very difficult to create a construction and ad about home remodeling and also landscaping without the ad being confusing. So in that situation, I would set it up separately. So essentially you would have, if we go back here, you would have non-branded, and you could just call this, landscaping. And then you would duplicate this same campaign and you would call the other non-branded, search campaign for home remodels. And then if you had one, maybe it was about, what are they called? Additional ADUs, additional dwelling units. If same thing there, because it's such a specific type of ad, it would make more sense to make sure that all of your verbiage in that ad ties in to just that additional dwelling unit. It's just that if someone sees landscaping with additional dwelling unit, most people just won't, I don't want to say they won't trust the company, but there is a different level of trust when you specialize in something. And so we just see better success niching down each one of the main services. If they tie together like this, roof repair and roof replacement, it's a very cohesive offer. So there doesn't need to be a separate ad, but if you have completely separate services that can't tie into one ad cohesively, then you would want to break out multiple non-branded search campaigns for each one of those services. So something about bidding here to note as well. You see that we're on max conversions for each of these. This is set on the campaign level. Once you get 40 to 50 conversions, whether that's lead or appointments, you will have a general idea of how much your cost per conversion is going to cost for each of these campaigns. At that point, you have the option to add a target CPA. Let's say that your leads are costing you $25. You can go in here and add a $25 CPA. And what it will do is essentially protect your spend by pulling back on days that are not as efficient or as profitable. And it will pull back your spend on those days, and it will accelerate your spend on the days that are doing better. We don't see this work great right out of the gate because Google needs data and it doesn't know how to get a $25 cost per conversion if your ad account does not have data. So typically you want 40 to 50 conversions running on max conversions first. We're going to remove this. Actually, now I'm going to have to go back to the campaign level. So campaign settings, then we're going to change this back to max conversions. So yeah, once you have 40 to 50 conversions, really in any type of Google campaign, applying a target CPA usually creates more stability within the account, especially if you're going to increase spend. If you're going to stay at lower spend, anywhere from $100 to $150 a day, or even $50 to $150 a day, you usually don't have to worry about it as much. You can leave things running wide open. I would say once you start getting beyond a few $100s a day in spend, it typically makes more sense to add a target CPA. So that way, if there is a rough day and Google can't find your ideal customers, it will pull back your spend. Say if you have a $3,000 a day budget, on the days where it can find those customers, it will spend that full $3,000. On the days that it cannot or doesn't think that it can, it may spend $200 or $300 and it will pull back your spend. So anyways, hope that is helpful. That is how to build out a non-branded search campaign.